Till that sea otters have a loose pouch under their armpits where they store their favorite rocks for cracking open shellfish. Some otters use the same rock for years, keeping it safe like a prize tool. Otters at the Oregon Coast Aquarium bashed a hole in the viewing window with their rocks and drained the exhibit. Staff figured out hard plastic rocks that would allow them to crack open shellfish and not be able to break the windows. Like a prize tool. What causes death more than people realize? Serious. I'm a florist, so I do funeral flowers. When there's a cold snap, weather is below freezing for 4 to 5 days, there are more funerals for elderly people the weeks after the cold weather. None of them are homeless, this is regular suburban houses with heat on, but somehow the cold still has a drastic effect. Not going to the dentist and a tooth infection. People from the USA, what would you do if Quebec decided to turn off the electricity that goes toward the whole New England territory and you cannot watch the Super Bowl? I'd laugh. Advertisers pay millions. Hit the wealthy in the pocket and they might back down. I'd be fine with it. Just shut it off during the Super Bowl then back on so people don't freeze. Till that during the Cold War, the US developed the Davy Crockett, a recoilless rifle that fired one of the smallest nuclear warheads ever made. They also developed a nuclear hand grenade, but nobody could throw it far enough. For those curious, the yield is equivalent to 20 tons of TNT. Little boy dropped on Hiroshima had a yield of 15,000 tons, making this about 0.13% as powerful as Little Boy. As the Wikipedia page describes, this weapon wouldn't be primarily used for its explosive power but rather for the radiation emitted. It could apparently kill everyone within 160 million of the blast site within minutes from radiation. Why aren't you out tonight? Because I'm staying in and getting my mortgage worth. Sign of the horns. Light skin tone. I prefer to stay inside and I'm not in the mood at all. All my stuff is at home, so are my dogs. Why would I leave it out? In this economy? What's something critical that a disturbing number of people don't know? A lot of people don't realize just how bad sleep deprivation can be for your health. It messes with your immune system, your heart, and can even mess with your brain long term. Honestly, a lot of people think it's no big deal, but it really is, especially if you're constantly running on little sleep. Don't put water on a grease fire. Reddit is not representative of anything other than Reddit. Driving in general. It's disturbing that the amount of people who don't know how to work a four-way stop sign, park in a parking lot, change lanes, or simply back up. That you should walk on the side of oncoming traffic. To put by creating an alter ego as a bit, and this alter ego now shows up on my credit report and background check. Is it possible Ricky is real and you're the alter ego? How in the heck did it get on your credit report? Commit to it. Ricky does exist. In fact, Ricky is even planning to get married and settle down. He's even asked you to be the best man. He'll have kids and they can come over to play at your place with your kids. You two can hang out as dads, crack open a beer and talk about dad stuff. Casino workers of Reddit, what's the worst loss or worst case of gambling addiction you've seen? I dealt in 2 casinos in Australia for a total of around 5 years. So many stories, but the worst one would have to be the guy at 5 AM on Christmas morning who mentioned to the guy next to him that he had to be home by 7 AM so he could be there when his kids woke up and opened their presents, but was still at the table at 9 AM. My mill was at a casino in Vegas when there was some kind of altercation that involved a gun. The police told everyone to get down. While crouching on the floor, people were still reaching up to play the slots. Had a lady in a nurse's uniform walk out the front of the casino. Stopped by where I was standing and just blurted out, "I just lost my rent and grocery money." The only thing I could say was, "Oh no." She then looked at me and asked if I had any money she could borrow. I told her sorry but no. I'm a high limits baccarat dealer and I have many regulars I see every single day. There's one lady who plays 3 to 4,000 a hand and gets so far down that when she hits for a bonus and makes 150,000 she barely cares because it doesn't even put her at even. What is your keeping up with the Joneses that you absolutely refuse to do? I personally do not feel the need to have a new car on a consistent basis. A new phone every 2 years. I keep mine until I can't update it anymore or stuff on it stops working properly. As a mother, I refuse to get on the overscheduled achiever child treadmill. My kids each had a sport or activity they enjoyed and then plenty of time with friends and downtime at home. I refuse to start getting injections in my face. Home trends. I do not believe that I need to make my house summer, autumn, winter, or spring themed. Will I change my linen to something warmer and darker during winter and get my floral out during summer? Sure. But I sure AF am not hopping on that train of changing everything. What's a subtle sign someone isn't as smart as they think? They don't have the willingness to look things up before deciding on answers. Their inability to just say I don't know. They'll talk and talk in circles and make shit up on the spot. They keep making really stupid mistakes, but it's always someone/something else's fault. Using big words in the wrong context. To foot by losing my entire life savings of over $600,000 to a rapidly developed gambling addiction and not being able to afford the taxes I now owe. For once, a real honest to God fuck up. Sorry man, gambling addiction is brutal. The casino always wins in the end. This is a great explanation of how casinos and gambling companies make money. They get a few people hooked and then take all their money. People think that lots of people gamble and each lose a little and that's how they make money, but it's really the story here. Casinos and other gambling companies make big money by taking everything from a few people. Really good anti-gambling PSA fellas. Ask me for 4 eggs, I give you 4 eggs, using the policy I explained to you 5 times while you were ordering. It confuses me as well. Why would a restaurant do it? Just cut the price by half and don't confuse people anymore. Then you can say that your eggs are good and really cheap or something. Is there a reason why the restaurant is trying to cause confusion by doubling the eggs? I understand that he wasn't listening to you, but why does the restaurant do that? Why not have 1 egg equals 1 egg? What if you only want 1 egg? Will you always get at least 2? To foot by going to a food pantry for the first time and unknowingly becoming a volunteer. I thought I was shopping for myself. It ended in an international crisis, food bank security, when I was caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car. Having worked at a food bank, this is the funniest thing I've read in a while. Seems to have worked out on both sides though, you're getting food, and they're getting help. Wonderful. The only foo is how the woman reacted. Minor mistake and confusion and she can't see the humor in it. I'm confused. You said she told me what to do and then took your car to your car. Did she not tell you to leave it? TIL that 64 bits of RAM in 1970 cost $99.50 in 1970 dollars. It could store an 8-letter string and that was it. I remember when the major form of computer crime was RAM theft. Offices were being burgled and PC cases opened just to steal 16 megabytes memory sticks. In certain pubs in London, if you knew the right guy, you could get a bag of SD RAM for 200 quid. The first time I bought RAM it cost me $50 per megabyte. I was pretty stoked to have a computer, Atari ST, with 4 megabytes of RAM. At some point hard drives were around $100 per megabyte. And Fry's Electronics existed. Like and subscribe.